Good morning, all of you. So, in our previous classes, we discussed about self-induction, self-inductance, and we introduced about this mutual inductance or coefficient of mutual inductance, right? And in today's class, let us see how to calculate the mutual inductance between the two coils. Like in the previous class, we discussed the mutual inductance between the two coils. We can write this as phi is equal to some m into I, where phi is suppose say flux linked with the second coil. If you are taking, then I is the current flowing in the first coil, and whether current is flowing in the first coil or current is flowing in the second coil, we discussed already. Like the mutual inductance will be same between for a given pair of coils there, right? So that means either M12 or M21 both are equal, we mentioned in our previous class, which we called principle of reciprocity, right? And in today's class, let us see the few derivations based on that. So let us see the few derivations of this mutual inductance there. So for that, let us consider first mutual inductance between two circular coils. Mutual inductance between two circular coils. And so for that, let us consider that two circular coils are there. One is of radius capital R and having this n number of turns or n1 number of turns, and other small coil, very small coil having this number of turns n2 or placed like this, right? So first let us assume that they are placed like that. They are placed in the same plane. First we are assuming. After that we will discuss that remaining possible cases there, right? And so then first mention about that. Consider two concentric circular coils of radii capital R and small r. And for smaller, mention this condition there. Small r is very much less than that of capital R. That means this coil is very small coil. The inner coil is very small coil, what we are assuming there. Having number of turns n1 and n2 respectively. Having number of turns n1 and n2 respectively. To find mutual inductance between them, we are assuming here they are placed in the same plane. They are concentric circular coils and they are placed in the same plane. To find the mutual inductance between the coils, let I be the current flowing in the outer coil, outer ring. Let I be the current flowing in the outer ring. That means now here the principle of reciprocity, even if current is given in this, you can assume current is flowing in the outer ring, because it is easy to calculate mutual inductance when you are assuming current is flowing in the outer ring, because you can calculate flux passing through this inner coil or flux passing through the second coil easily there. So now let us see this. So for that flux we need to write magnetic field produced by this outer coil here. So that means now magnetic induction at center of the ring, B is equal to, that means due to this outer coil now we are writing here, B is equal to mu naught N1 into I by 2 into R. This is a mutual, that means that is a flux passing through the magnetic field due to this outer coil at this position here. So now let us write the flux passing through this inner coil there. So flux passing through the inner coil. So then this flux, now what we can write there is B into A2 now we can write, where A2 means area of the inner coil into it has its number of turns N2, right? So A2 means this area now we need to write here. And so as we are assuming this area is, that means that radius is very small, and so this area is very small. And so you can consider that the almost uniform magnetic field is there here. The same field is acting throughout that coil is our assumption there under this condition. Is it clear? That is the importance of this condition here. The field is assumed to be constant or uniform field is there over this cross section. And so therefore this flux, what we can write there is mu naught into N1 N2 into I by 2R into this is pi r square we can write there, right? So that is area of this inner coil now we need to write. And so now this value should be equal to our flux, that means Mi. So but this magnetic flux phi is equal to Mi we can write. And therefore by comparing those two values, or I can write this Mi is equal to mu naught N1 N2 into pi r square by 2 into capital R into this I you can write. So that I value you can cancel on both sides, so that this expression we can write this as mu naught N1 N2 into pi r square by 2 into R you can write. So now that is a mutual inductance between those two coils for this case here, right? So this is a mutual inductance between those two circular coils there. And so now there you can observe that this mutual inductance will depend on the number of turns in the primary coil, number of turns in the secondary coil. That means number of turns in that coils and the size and shape of these coils. That means it depends on smaller as well as this capital R also. And here in this case we can mention some more additional points like here we assume like these two are lying in the same plane. Now if suppose there exists at an angle theta here. So just mention that point there. If theta is the angle between two normals to the plane of coils, or you can consider that as a angle between the two planes also, you can consider that you will get the same. That means from this position we are turning through an angle theta there, like which is nothing but what I am saying there is if one is there like this, that means one coil is there like this, so that its normal is along this direction here in this plane now I am taking. So the another coil now I am taking like this, so that its normal is along this direction here. So this angle is theta what we are considering there. So for this diametric axis will be there like this, and for this it will be there like this. So that is the thing what we are taking. Suppose say this is N1 cap and this is N2 cap. That means normal to the two coils. If the plane of these coils are inclined at some angle theta there, or you can say that is the angle between the two normals drawn to the two planes of the coils, then this magnetic flux what we can write there is so then this flux what we can write there is phi is equal to B into A2 into N2 into, now additionally now we need to write this cos theta. Is it clear? If the theta there exists at an angle theta, but in this case if you are taking, why we are not taking theta means we assumed that both are lying in the same plane. So the magnetic field is along the normal to the plane of the second coil now we can write. But now there we are taking certain angle there. If one coil is there like this in this plane, the other coil we are taking at some inclined position there. So that is the what I mentioned there, right? And so now this equation of what we can write there is additionally we will get that cos theta there. Mu naught N1 N2 by 2R into pi R square into I. Sorry, cos theta into I. So this value is equal to, but phi is equal to Mi now we can write. So therefore this in this case that mutual inductance will be, so mu naught N1 N2 into pi R square by 2R, 2 into capital R into cos theta. So that is the thing what I said in our last class. In the last class I mentioned like mutual inductance will also depends on this orientation of the coils. That means even for the two coils the mutual inductance is not same. If you are changing the position of those two coils at the same position, that means at the same distance, then this mutual inductance between the coils will changes there. That means it depends on the theta, how those coils are placed. Now even for this case, if you are taking the two planes are perpendicular to each other, for example, if I consider, so perpendicular means, now let us consider that case there. So you will get the maximum mutual inductance when they are when theta is 0. So that means when they are coinciding, when the planes of the two coils are coinciding with each other, which is nothing but this value here. So therefore mention that, therefore mutual inductance after this, mutual inductance between the two coils, mutual inductance between the two coils depends on number of turns in the coils, number of turns in the coils, next size and shape of the coils, medium, and also depends on the orientation of the coils, right? So that is that calculation there. And so now if you are taking that if theta is equal to 0, then this mutual inductance for these two coils will be maximum, and so then this maximum mutual inductance is, which we mentioned already there, mu naught n1 n2 into pi r square by 2r. So for this position, and which is nothing but both are lying in the same plane like this. So both the coils are lying in the same plane, right? And now suppose if that angle, if you consider that as some 90 degrees there. So if that theta is equal to pi by 2, then this mutual inductance will be minimum. So that means it will be 0. Mutual inductance between the two coils will be 0. So that is nothing but what we can mention there is the situation we can represent like this. So one coil is there like this, which is having normal along this direction. Then the other coil will be lying in this plane here, so that its normal will be along this direction here. So that means now it is lying in its perpendicular plane. Like if one circle is there like in vertical plane, the other circular coil will lies in horizontal plane. So in that case, if theta is 90 degrees and mutual inductance will be 0. So for the same coils, if you are changing that orientation, then it will changes here, right? So that is the thing what you need to remember here. So it is in case of two circular coils, the mutual inductance between the two circular coils. So that means its calculation is also somewhat similar to that of our self-induction. L calculation, mutual self-inductance calculation. Just we need to calculate first we need to write the expression for magnetic field produced by that one of the coil. Then we write the magnetic flux associated with that coil passing through the coil. Then from that we can write phi is equal to mi formula, we can use it, right? And so next let us see mutual inductance between solenoid and the coil. Let us consider next. Solenoid and a coil. And so now I am taking this a long solenoid having some n number of turns, n1 number of turns per unit length. And now around this, now I am placing a circular coil here, right? This is a circular coil. And so that like it is now the solenoid is placed along the axis of the circular ring. And so now these are the number of turns let us consider here for this solenoid. So this number of turns are arranged like this for this solenoid. So just mention that consider a solenoid having n1 number of turns, and a radius of cross section small r. Radius of cross section small r. Let small n be the number of turns per unit length. Let small n be the number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. Consider a circular coil of radius r. Consider a circular coil of radius r having n2 number of turns, is placed coaxial with the solenoid as shown. To find the mutual inductance between them, let I be the current flowing through the solenoid. Right? So now current is flowing through the solenoid, we are assuming, so that it will produce some flux. That flux will be linked with the circular coil here. So right, so that magnetic flux we need to write there. So the magnetic field due to the solenoid, first I am writing here. Magnetic field due to solenoid. So this value now we can write it as mu naught Ni, you can write. Right? So that is mu naught Ni. And then now where n you in terms of this n1 if you want to write, you can substitute it later. Now the magnetic flux I am writing here. So flux through the coil. So this flux through the coil means what I can write there is B into area of the solenoid into N2 now we need to write. So this is the only important thing here. So that means now the area means not the area of circle, because you know magnetic field outside the solenoid will be approximately 0. It is negligibly small. So only for solenoid we define the magnetic field inside the solenoid. Outside the solenoid means it is negligible. And so that even though the circular ring is there like this, that means if suppose this is the circular ring of radius capital R if you are taking, and this is the solenoid of radius small r. Now what we are saying is this magnetic field will be confined only within this small r here. So that while writing the flux passing through this capital R radius means only flux is passing through that small r here. So only that flux now we need to consider there. Is it clear? So because of that reason there you need to consider this area of the solenoid you need to consider. And so therefore this flux is equal to what we can write is mu naught Ni. That B value now we can substitute there. Mu naught Ni into area of this coil, that is pi r square, area of the solenoid pi r square into N2 now we can write. And so therefore it is phi is equal to mu naught into N into N2 into pi r square into I. So but this flux what we can write there is phi is equal to Mi now we can write. And therefore this M is equal to mu naught into small n into N2 into pi r square now we can write. Is it clear? So now that N2 if you want to write, you can write in terms of this N1. So this can also be written as mu naught into N1 into N2 into pi r square by L. So that means you can also express like this, right? So generally we express like this. If number of turns of the solenoid are given, then you can also express like this. Just we are writing it as number of turns per unit length. So this number of turns per unit length as N1 by L we are writing here, just right. So that is our calculation there. So the magnetic flux produced by the solenoid I am writing here. So then the flux passing through the circular ring I am writing here, B into A into number of turns of the circular ring. And just this I value we can equate with the Mi, so that I value will be cancelled there, right. So it is a magnetic induction due to that. And next mutual inductance due to that, right. And so now we can do some other calculations here, like suppose if I write in a similar way you can do the other calculations there. Whenever these other problems are given, you can do such a calculations with the help of this. So next let us see mutual inductance between two square loops. So let us take now mutual inductance between two square loops here. So one loop now what we can consider there is of side capital L, let us consider. So other is of small l, let us consider here, right? Concentric, that means their center will be same. So then this is of L, capital L, and this is small l. Now we need to calculate the mutual inductance between them, and here also let us assume that L is very small when compared to that of capital L. So that is our assumption. So just mention that. Next, mutual inductance between two square loops. Consider two square loops, consider two concentric square loops of side capital L and small l. In brackets mention that small l is very much less than that of capital L. To find the mutual inductance between them, let I be the current flowing through the outer square, larger square loop. So let I be the current flowing through the outer square loop. So as I said, actually you can assume that current is flowing in the inner loop also. That means on the previous examples also you need to observe that now in the previous two concentric square loops also, I consider that current is flowing in this outer loop there, right? And so that here even in this the current is flowing in this outer loop I am taking here, because if you are taking this current is flowing in the inner loop, then flux calculation will be difficult for us, because some flux will be there. Suppose if you are taking whatever the direction, some flux if it is into the plane, then some in this region flux will be there out of this plane. So net flux calculation we need to do, which is very difficult, because the flux is not uniform over this large area, right? And so because of that reason for this whenever two such a plane concentric circular loops or any loops are given, concentric plane loops are given, we assume that current is flowing in this outer loop there, right? So then problem will be easy for us, easily you can calculate that. Even though current is given in the problem, current is given in the inner loop, you can assume that same current is flowing in the outer loop, because we know the principle of reciprocity. Whether you are taking current in outer loop or current in inner loop, the mutual inductance between them will be same. So now let us do this calculation here. So again same, our procedure will be same. To find the mutual inductance between them, we need to find the like magnetic flux passing through this smaller square loop we need to find. So let us do that calculation here. So then for that we need to go back to our previous topics, like mutual inductance due to the square loop we need to calculate, magnetic induction due to the square loop we need to calculate. So for magnetic induction due to square loop means, then for one side we need to find and we need to multiply with the 4. So for that magnetic field due to the straight line formula we need to write. So just I will mention that formula here. This is a magnetic field due to this square straight wire of finite length, mu naught I by 4 pi d into so sine alpha plus sine beta. Just I am reminding this formula here. This is a straight wire having this length, finite length. So this is alpha and this is beta and this is our d. This is a current carrying conductor, right? So then that is the formula for this. Now we need to write this formula here. So then magnetic field due to one side. So magnetic induction due to AB. So then I am taking it as B1. So B1 is equal to, so let us apply this formula now, mu naught I by 4 pi d, that d is nothing but L by 2, right, into this angle we need to write here. So that means now this angle you need to write. So that angle you know that is 45 degrees you will get. Similarly this angle is also same, 45 degrees you will get, right? And so therefore this is sine 45 plus sine 45. So therefore B1 value now what we can write there is mu naught I by 4 pi into L into 2 into, I am writing the 2 in numerator, I am not cancelling here. Then here let us identify here. So that is nothing but you will get that value as 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2. So you will get that as root 2, right? It means 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, you will get 2 by root 2. So which is nothing but root 2. So that is our B1. So net magnetic field due to square. Net magnetic induction due to the square loop. So therefore that net magnetic induction, what we can write there is 4 times that of B1 you can write. So that gives the total magnetic induction there. So therefore it is, because the 4 sides will contribute equally there. And so therefore mu naught I into that means 2 mu naught I by 2 root 2 pi L now we can write. So right, so it is our mutual induction. This 4 I am cancelling there. And then next you can write it as our flux calculation. Now flux passing through the small square loop. Flux passing through the small square loop. So that flux, what we can write there is B into A2 you can write. Here we are not taking any number of terms there. So that no need of writing any n terms here. Only single loop we are assuming there. So therefore it is mu naught I by I into 2 root 2 by pi L into this value will get L square. So then this value now we can equate with phi is equal to Mi. And therefore this mutual inductance between them, what we can write there is mu naught I into 2 root 2 into L square by pi into capital L, now we can write. So that is our mutual inductance. Important thing there is it's a previous IT question is there, previous advanced question based on this. Like what is how that mutual inductance will depends on the small L and capital L. So that means there you can mention that this is directly proportional to the L square by small L you need to, capital L you need to write here. Small L square by capital L. So that is our dependence of this mutual inductance on this sides of this square, that means capital L and small l values, right? So that is our mutual inductance calculation. So like that for any case you can do these calculations here in a similar way, right? So I will give that some of the problems, then you can calculate that mutual inductance between that pair of these conductors. So next take some problems, that means just note down the problems and solve them later in a similar way. So just I am taking this this is a square loop here. Sorry, a square loop is placed on the axis of a circular loop. Right, suppose this is a circular loop of radius r. Now the square loop is placed at a distance of root 3 r, and such that this plane of this square loop makes an angle of 45 degrees with it. This is a square loop of say side L. Right, then mutual inductance between them we need to find there. So just to mention that a small square loop of side L is placed on the axis of a circular ring of radius r, at a distance root 3 r from its center, such that the angle between axis of the circular ring makes an angle 45 degrees, with normal to the square loop, So that is just mention that small l is very much less than that of capital R. So that is given data. Now we need to find just mutual inductance there. So it's one of the previous advanced question. So in a similar way you need to calculate. Just we calculated two circular loops and with some angle, just we mentioned there. So now instead of writing the magnetic field at the center of the circular loop, now we need to write magnetic field on the axis of the circular loop, just we need to write there. So on the axis formula, just we need to use there, right? And let us take this, the same problem they may give like when the square loop is placed at the center. So let us take this as one problem, and the next problem just I am taking this, the same square loop is placed at the center like this. So then this is our radius R, the mutual inductance between them. So here also this condition is L is very much less than that of R you can take. So this is our second one, and the third one I am giving like this is straight wire here, and now this a loop is placed like this. So this side is, let us take it as A, and this is B. Right? So that means now the mutual inductance between them, now we need to calculate there. So now here these are not concentric loops. This is straight infinite wire and this is a square loop, rectangular loop. So then you may calculate the, now in such a cases you need to assume that current is flowing in this. Now let us find the flux passing through this entire loop here, and here as the field is variable you need to do by integration method. Take a small element like this, and here take the small element here. So take a small element here like this at a distance x from this, and this element is dx here. Then write the flux passing through the small element and then integrate that. Then you will get the flux passing through that. So to find the mutual inductance, our aim is to calculate flux passing through the one coil when current is flowing to the other coil, right? So you may assume current is flowing in this coil, then you can calculate flux passing through the other coil there. So then that is another problem. And so now in a similar way, let us do this another problem here. When I am taking this a straight wire and a circular loop. This is of radius smaller and which is placed at a distance of d here. Now here I am assuming that d is very much greater than that of smaller. So that means mutual inductance between them, now we need to calculate here. D is very much greater than that of smaller means that indicates that you can consider that the magnetic field acting in this small cross section will be almost uniform, you can consider there, because when compared to this distance is negligible, this variation is negligible. So you can assume like that, same uniform magnetic field is acting in that region, now you can consider there. So try to solve those problems there, right? And so next let us see this combination of inductors and let us consider here, and then coefficient of coupling also will be there. So first let us see that coefficient of coupling. After that we may consider this combination of inductors. Coefficient of coupling, or the relation between mutual inductance and self inductance. A relation between mutual inductance and self inductance. So we need to write the relation between them, between mutual inductance and self inductance, right? And so for that let us consider the two coils are placed very close to each other, or we can say they are tightly bound one above the other. Like if you are taking like two solenoids, one is placed inside this other. This is one solenoid, let us consider. Then the surrounding this another solenoid, suppose if you are placing here, right? then whatever the flux passing through this outer coil, then almost that means this gap is not there. One is wounded above the other, like actually what I am saying there. That much gap is also not there. So like you may find already in the previous topics like double layer solenoid. So like one layer will be there like this on this. So that actually what I am considering is like this here. So one layer will be there like this. The other layer will be wounded on this there. So then that is nothing but double layer solenoid. So like another layer will be wounded like this. So that now in that case, then that is said to be actually the tight coupling there. Right? So actually our aim is to consider like this. And so now in that case, what I am considering that is I am writing the mutual inductance and self inductance calculations I am taking there. Like suppose I1, I2 are the current flowing in those loops, so that it will produce a self inductance as well as mutual inductance there. Now our aim is to write the relation between self inductance and mutual inductance. So now suppose I am going back to our previous notation M12 or M21. And finally we will consider them, they are equal, right? So suppose I am writing first for first coil, I am writing here for first coil, and you may mention like consider two circular two coils, consider two coils having number of turns N1 and N2, carrying currents I1 and I2, carrying currents I1 and I2. So now I am writing this self-inductance and mutual inductance relation there. For first coil I am writing here. So then flux passing through the first coil will be equal to L1 into I1 for self-inductance of the first coil, right? And now the flux passing through the first coil due to the second coil M12, that means phi 12 is equal to, so there what we can write there is M12 into I2. The flux passing through the first coil self-induction, mutual induction. Self-induction means the flux passing through that coil will depend on current flowing in that first coil itself. Now when you are taking the mutual inductance between the coils means the flux passing through the first coil will depend on the current in the second coil, right? So that is nothing but what I am taking there. And so then from this what you can write there is L1 is equal to phi 1 by I1. And similarly let us write M12 is equal to phi 12 by I2, right? So this is one equation what we can write there. So now similarly let us write for the second coil. For second coil if you consider here, so in a similar way let us write. So then phi 2 is equal to L2 into I2 now we can write. Now flux passing to the self, when you are writing the self inductance of the second coil, the self inductance of the second coil, the flux passing through that will depend on current in the same coil. So then from this in a similar way you can write this as L2 is equal to phi 2 by I2 now we can write. Next similarly for mutual inductance I am writing here. The mutual inductance of second coil, the flux of second coil due to the first coil will be equal to M21 into this I1. Now it will depend on current in the first coil. So this value what we can write there is M12 is M21 is equal to phi 21 by I2, I1 you can write. So these are our values there, right? Now we know that M12 and M21 are equal, and let us consider that these two coils are closely placed, and so that there is no any leakage of this flux here. There is no any leakage of flux means whatever the flux passing to the first coil, the same flux will be associated with that second coil also, right? So that is our assumption there. There is no any flux leakage in the sense, and so that what we can write there is if, so mention that point there, if there is no any leakage of flux, if there is no any leakage of flux, so then what we can write there is phi 12 or phi 1 is equal to phi 2 we can write, or phi 12 is equal to phi 21 we can write. So whatever the flux is produced by one coil, the same flux will be associated with this other coil there, alright. So that means those terms now we can write there. So that means this value will be equal to phi 12 you may write, and this value will be phi 21 you may write there, right? So that means such a assumptions now we can consider there. If there is no any leakage of such a flux. So then as we are writing this mutual inductance relation, now I am taking this relation now. Flux passing through this one coil with respect to the other coil. Phi 1 to phi 2 1 are equal, I am assuming there. And now you can equate those expressions there. And now I can also write, and in addition to that, this is also mentioned as they are tightly bound. They are tightly coupled. They are tightly coupled in the sense there is no any leakage of the flux here. The flux passing through flux due to one coil due to the other coil will be equal. And so that then this value I can write this as and M12 is equal to M21 is equal to say M. So that we are assuming there. That means this point we already know, we already mentioned in the beginning of our mutual inductance itself in the last class, right? So the current is flowing in the second coil, you will get the same mutual inductance there. And so now what I am writing there is M12 into M21 I am writing here. Just I am finding the product of this. Now let us find this product here. So now M12 and M21 we can substitute these values there. So right. So then M12 value I am substituting here. Phi 12 by I1. This is equal into, and this value M21 means then that value now we can write there. Phi 21 by I2, right? So this value is nothing but you can write this as phi 1 and which is equal to phi 2, or you can write it as phi finally. That means there is no any leakage of the flux in the sense. Now this value now we can substitute here. M into M, M into M, this is equal to. So then this value now I can write this as phi 1 by I1 and into, and this value I am taking it as phi 2 by I2. Because these values are equal, we are assuming that there is any leakage of the flux, then phi 1, phi 2 and phi 1, 2 and phi 2, 1 all are equal. Whatever the flux passing through one coil, the same flux will pass through the other coil. So then this value, that means this value I am replacing with phi 1 and this value I am replacing with phi 2 here, or you may assume that as some phi. And so now you can assume that this, you can observe that this phi 1 by I1 means I can write this as L1, and phi 2 by I2 means we can write this as L2. And so therefore this values we can write this as M square is equal to L1 into L2. And so therefore this M is equal to under root of L1 into L2 you can write. So that is the relation between self-inductance and mutual inductance there. So this relation is also important. So that's the relation between self-inductance and mutual inductance. So that is the thing when there is no leakage of flux, right? We are assuming that there is no leakage of flux there. If suppose if any certain leakage of flux is there, then definitely what we can write there is this product should be less than that of this. That means then these two values will be different there. These two values are not equal to this phi 1 and phi 2, and so some leakage of flux will be there, and so that product will be there between them. So that means then what we can mention there is if any leakage of flux is there, if any leakage of flux is there, then what we can write there is M is less than that of under root of L1, L2, now we can write here, right? So then that value will be mutual inductance. That means whatever the flux produced by the first coil is totally not linked with the second coil, then automatically the mutual inductance produced in the second coil will be less, and so that then mutual inductance will decrease there. Previously we are saying that total flux is linked there, but now what we are saying there is some flux is leaking, and so automatically the mutual inductance will decrease. So then that is nothing but what we are writing there. So now the mutual inductance with that some leakage will be less than that of our root L1, L2 we can write. And so now here we will write this in generalized formula we will mention there here. So I will mention this generalized formula here. And so now let us see that generalized formula. So in general what we can mention there is so in general, so the mutual inductance M is equal to K into under root of L1 L2. So this is our general formula here. So now here that K is nothing but we call coefficient of coupling, where K is nothing but coefficient of coupling, which is defined as the ratio of flux linked with the second coil to the flux linked with the primary coil. So where K is coefficient of coupling, where K is the coefficient of coupling, which is defined as means this is phi means flux linked here. So this is ratio of flux linked with secondary coil to that of flux linked with primary coil, right? So that ratio is nothing but we call coefficient of coupling here. So that coefficient of coupling will be in general, so this mention this definition here, the ratio of coefficient of flux linked with the secondary coil to that of flux linked with the primary coil is nothing but we call this coefficient of coupling. And so now this value, now we can write this as in general. Now what we can mention there is it is less than or equal to, that means 0 less than or equal to K less than or equal to 1 we can write there, right? So that means when there is a tight coupling means then we need to consider it as 1, that means there is no any leakage of the flux, then K is equal to 1 you will get. When they are not coupled with each other, that means the flux passing through one coil is not associated with the other coil, then you need to take it as 0. So just mention that for tight coupling, that is when there is no leakage of flux, then K is equal to 1, which we mentioned already. Then M is equal to under root L1 L2 you will get, then K is equal to 1. For loose coupling, K is less than 1. For loose coupling means some leakage will be there, if some leakage of flux is there, then K is less than 1. For no coupling, that means there is no flux passing through that coils there, that means flux produced by one coil is not associated with the other coil, then there is no coupling between them, then K value will be 0. If there is no coupling between the two coils, then K is equal to 0. No coupling in the sense the flux produced by the one coil is not associated with the other coil. Right? And so next let us consider this combination of inductors. Combination of inductors. So let us consider that first I am taking that parallel combination. So parallel combination of inductors. So like let us consider that two inductors are considered like this. So this is L1 and L2 we are taking there, right? Such two inductors are joined in parallel with each other. So just you may mention that consider two inductors of self-inductance L1 and L2 are connected in parallel as shown in figure. Neglect the mutual inductance between the two coils. And so now in parallel we know already, like we can mention this as In parallel combination of resistors also, you know, in parallel combination, induced EMF will be same here. So that means modulus of E1 is equal to modulus of E2 we can write. That is one point what we can mention there. Induced EMF or which is nothing but the potential difference across this will be same here. So this is nothing but potential difference is same. Is it clear? In resistors also we know that point. Generally either capacitors or resistors are connected in parallel. Then the common thing point is the potential difference across them will be same. And so now this expression of what we can write there is L1 into di1 by dt is equal to, let it be E for example, and this is L2 into di2 by dt. So that is equal to some L into di by dt. Now we can consider there, right? So that means where E is that equivalent induced EMF you may consider there. Is it clear? Equivalent induced EMF I am taking here. And so now this is one relation now what we can mention there. And then next what we can write there is, so this value, what I mean there is, this value is some constant here. And so next point what we can mention there is I is equal to I1 plus I2. Now we can write here, right? I is equal to I1 plus I2. And so now let us differentiate. That means that we know already here this current I is coming here. Now it is dividing into two parts there, I1 and I2. And so now that is our equation. I is equal to I1 and I2. And so now it is di by dt is equal to, I am differentiating this equation here, di1 by dt plus di2 by dt. Now we can write. And now this di values you can substitute by using this equation, or let it be E itself instead of this k. Again, instead of using this introducing this another equation, I am taking E itself there, because that E value you can take it as constant there. And so now di by dt means what I can write there is E by L, right, by using, where E is nothing but some induced EMF. So then instead of taking k value, I am taking like this. Now di2 by di1 by dt, that you can write again by using these two terms here. So then based on this, I can write this as E by L1 plus similarly di2 by dt. By using these two terms, now we can write here di2 by dt is equal to E by this L2 you can write. So now we know E value will be same, and so you can cancel that. So 1 by L is equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2. Now we can write. So it is the mutual inductance, equivalent inductance of the two coils when they are connected in parallel there. Therefore, this L equivalent you can write this as, so L equivalent value you can write this as, this is nothing but our L equivalent here. The meaning of this L is nothing but, so L1 L2 by L1 plus L2 you can write. That means now it is similar to that of our resistors in parallel. In resistors in parallel also you will get such a similar case. Now for inductors also we are getting that same case there. Even for this n number of inductors you can mention, you can extend this formula here. For n inductors, L inductors, what we can write is L equivalent is equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2 plus and so on plus 1 by Ln you can write. So like that you can extend that formula even for n number of inductors in parallel there, right? So that is our effective inductance when the inductors are connected in parallel. That means we are replacing, parallel means you know the meaning there, we are replacing these two combination by a single inductor there. And so now similarly let us consider that inductors in series. So now let us take this series combination now. So this is now series combination. Now series means again you know in case of resistors that same principles we need to apply here, like let us consider that two inductors are joined in series like this. So then here also first we are neglecting like any mutual inductance between them. So suppose I am taking this as L1 and L2, right? And then we know when inductors are connected in series or resistors are connected in series, whatever the series combination we are considering, same amount of current will flow through them. Then only we say it as a series combination. But now here that is potential difference will be different here. Suppose here potential difference is E1 and here it is E2. The induced EMF which is developed across that. So that means now in series combination, now what we can mention there is in series combination, the first thing what we can mention there is I is equal to, that means I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I. The same amount of current is flowing through them. So when same amount of current is flowing through them, then from this what we can write there is di1 by dt is equal to di2 by dt is equal to di by dt. That means the rate of change of, as the same current is flowing, whatever the change in current is taking place, so that same change in current is taking place in all of them. And so the next point what we can mention there is the total potential difference here. E is equal to E1 plus E2, now I can write there, the total induced EMF. Like in resistors, you know, total potential difference means we will mention like V1 plus V2, right? And so then here we can write this as minus L into di by dt is equal to minus L1 into di1 by dt minus L2 into di2 by dt, right? And so now that di by dt and di1 by dt that you can cancel, because we mentioned already all those are equal there. di1 by dt and di2 by dt are equal. So that means now these terms we can cancel here. So when you cancel those terms, then finally what we can write there is L is equal to L1 plus L2. Now we can write L1 plus L2 we can write. So that is our mutual inductance between effective self inductance when the two inductors are joined in series. And now similarly for n inductors you can write this, you can extend this formula there. For n inductors, so for L inductors, this equivalent inductance we can write this as L1 plus L2 plus and so on plus Ln you can write. So you can extend that formula for this even for any number of inductors there. Is it clear? Now again you can simply remember it as it is same as that of our resistance combinations there. In resistance also we will get that such a similar expression, so that you can easily remember this combinations here. But here sometimes based on this they will ask a questions like when you are considering like mutual inductance between the two coils also in case of such a series combination. Now let us write that case there. So just mention it as a note in this combination of inductors. So just mention that as note. So just mention that that means we are going to calculate the total inductance, that we call it as a total inductance. If mutual inductance between the two coils is also considered, if mutual inductance between the two coils is also considered in series combination, if mutual inductance between the two coils is also considered in series combination, then total inductance of the system can be written as given below. So in that it is the first case I am writing here. So mention it as the first one. When current in the two coils is in same direction. So then like this I am taking, or you can consider it as in a same straight line, you may consider that, there is no problem. So that means now here this is the current I is flowing here, then same current is flowing here. Current is in the same direction means current in this first coil is flowing from left to right, and in the second coil is also it is flowing from left to right. That is the meaning of the same direction here. So then here I am taking this as L1 and this is L2. Now the self inductance in the sense that means the total inductance in the sense the total inductance we can write this as total inductance. So L is equal to, so then simply what we can write there is when there is connection is like this, when the current is in the same direction, the self induction and mutual inductions will be in the same direction. Like if suppose current is increasing there, if current is increasing, you know, the induced EMF, self induced EMF will be produced like this. So this is our self induced EMF here due to this L1. Yeah, some EMF will be produced in that which opposes the increase in current, right? So then self-induced EMF will be there like this, and for this also you will get in the same way here, which is opposite or which is opposing this current here, that we discussed already there. When current is increasing, I am assuming here. Just I am naming it as L2, L2 in the sense induced EMF because of self-induction. And now let us consider because of the mutual induction here. When current is increasing here, current in this coil is increasing, then it will produce some flux that which is increasing, and that flux is passing through this coil. That flux is passed, that means associated with this coil here. And so now this flux is the flux produced by this coil is passing through this, and that is increasing there. And so now it is increasing means then it should produce a flux. That means now it should produce a flux in opposite direction. It should produce a flux in opposite direction means then this also should produce this mutual induction EMF due to the mutual induction is also will takes place like this. Then here flux is increasing. Here flux is the flux produced by this coil is increasing here. So that increase in flux is associated with this. So now this flux that means it should produce a flux in opposite direction there. If this is producing the flux like this, then this will produce a flux like this. So that means this flux should increase there. So to increase that flux, then this mutual inductance should be in the same direction as that of this self induction there. And now similarly here, the same thing, the reverse thing you can consider here, right? And so now both the self induction and mutual inductions are in same direction. And so then simply what I can write there is L1 plus L2 plus 2M you can write, because for M1 once for this and M2 for this. So we know mutual inductance will be same whether current is flowing in the first coil or second coil. Then you can write simply like this. So simply you can remember it as when current in the two coils is in the same direction, then the effective EMF for the total inductance is given like this, L1 plus L2 plus 2M you can write there, right? If for example current is flowing in opposite direction, if you consider here, if current in the both the coils is in opposite direction, like suppose now one coil I am taking like this, then the other coil let us consider like this. So now observe the direction of this current here. Now the current is again the same current is flowing. They are a pair, they are in series only, but current direction is in opposite direction there. Like opposite direction in the sense now in this coil current is flowing from left to right, but in this coil current is flowing from right to left. So that is opposite direction here. So then automatically as the current direction we are reversing there, mutual inductance will be opposite in direction. So again let us consider that current is increasing. When current is increasing, then self-induced EMF will be there like this, the polarities of the self-induced EMF. And similarly now here the current is increasing here, now current is flowing in this direction here. So the self-induced EMF will be there like this, right? L2. And so next we need to consider this mutual induced EMF here. So now the mutual induced EMF will be opposite to this you will get, because now in this current is flowing here, the flux is traveling along this direction. Now it should oppose this. The flux is flowing along this direction here when current is flowing in this coil like this. Now it should produce a flux in this direction or the induced EMF in the direction there. And so that now the induced EMF, mutual induced EMF will be there like this. The polarities of the self-induction and mutual induction will be opposite each other. And similarly here, now it will produce a flux here which is increasing. Then its polarities will be opposite to that. So then this will be positive and this will be negative you will get. So then this is our mutual inductance like this. So now self-inductance and mutual inductance are opposite in direction, and so that then in that case simply what I can write there is this total explanation is not required for you, just to understand that why we are getting plus sign and minus sign I am saying this. So then you can remember directly this expression here in a simple way. total inductance. So mentioned here clearly, when the current in the two inductors is in opposite direction, then total inductance is given by L1 plus L2 minus 2M. Minus 2M, right? So that is our total inductance there when the two coils are in opposite directions. And next, sometimes in this, the energy calculations are also required for us. And so just to mention that energy conclusion also there. So then based on this, the energy also you can write there. When current is in the same direction, then plus sign you will get for this mutual inductance. When current is in opposite direction, then you will get this minus sign there. So then just mention that also there. Mention it as a next point there. That means this is totally comes under one point. Say this is totally in one point. These are the two cases here. And now I am saying it as a second point there. That means in terms of energy. So in accordance with, you can write that as when current in the two coils is in same direction, when current in the two coils is in same direction, the energy associated with the system can be expressed as, so we are taking that current is different there for two inductors. That means if different current is flowing, we are considering there. If your same current is flowing like this, then you can substitute that I1 is equal to I2, you may substitute there, right? If current is in the same direction, then you can write this as plus M into I1 into I2. Now we can write. That means simply we know for inductor 1 you can write it as half Li square formula, and similarly for inductor 2 half Li square formula. And then for mutual inductance, when your mutual inductance is also considered between them, then for this one mutual inductance half M I1 square, that means half M I term we need to write, and similarly for this mutual inductance energy term we need to write. So that finally converts into like this M I1 into I2. If same current is flowing like our previous case, if same current is flowing, then you can consider this as like I square you can write there. That means I square, and here also I square you can write there if same current is flowing. And so now similarly, if current is in opposite direction, two coils is in opposite direction, then total energy of the system is this is when current is in the same direction. Now we are writing for this total in opposite direction there. So then this direction, now I can write this as half L I1 square plus half L2 I2 square minus M I1 into I2. Now here this sign you will get this as M minus there. So that is the thing. That means it appears like similar to that of this term here. So when current is in same direction, plus sign you will get. When current is in opposite direction, minus sign you will get. Right? So then this is the self-induction and mutual inductance calculations there. And this next, that LR circuits we need to discuss there. Like when inductor is connected in a circuit, how it will behave. Then those calculations I will explain our next class. Right? Thank you.